Anger Bible Verses, Part 3. Psalms 78:38. For he, being full of compassion, forgave their iniquity, and destroyed them not. Yea, many a time turned he his anger away, and did not stir up all his wrath. Psalms 78:49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation and trouble, by sending evil angels among them. Psalms 78:50. He made a way to his anger. He spared not their soul from death, but gave their life over to the pestilence. Psalms 78:58. For they provoked him to anger with their high places, and moved him to jealousy with their graven images. Psalms 85:3. Thou hast taken away all thy wrath, thou hast turned thyself from the fierceness of thine anger. Psalms 85:4. Turn us, O God of our salvation, and cause thine anger towards us to cease. Psalms 85:5. Wilt thou be angry with us forever? Wilt thou draw out thine anger to all generations? Psalms 97. For we are consumed by thine anger, and by thy wrath are we troubled. Psalms 90:11. Who knoweth the power of thine anger? Even according to thy fear, so is thy wrath. Psalms 103:8. The Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and plenteous in mercy. Psalms 103:9. He will not always chide, neither will he keep his anger forever. Psalms 106:29. Thus they provoked him to anger with their inventions, and the plague brake in upon them. Psalms 145:8. The Lord is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger, and of great mercy. Proverbs 15:1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Proverbs 15:18. A wrathful man stirreth up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeaseth strife. Proverbs 16:32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. Proverbs 19:11. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger, and it is his glory to pass over a transgression. Proverbs 22. The fear of a king is as the roaring of a lion. Whoso provoketh him to anger sinneth against his own soul. Proverbs 21:14. A gift in secret passeth anger, and a reward in the bosom strong wrath. Proverbs 22:8. He that soweth iniquity shall reap vanity, and the rod of his anger shall fail. Proverbs 27:4. Wrath is cruel, and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? Ecclesiastes 7:9. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. Isaiah 1:4. Ah, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. Isaiah 5:25. Therefore, in the anger of the Lord, kindled against his people, and he hath stretched forth his hand against them, and hath smitten them, and the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Isaiah 7:4. And say unto him, Take heed, and be quiet, fear not, neither be faint-hearted, for the two tails of these smoking firebrands, for the fierce anger of Resin with Syria, and of the son of Remaliah. Isaiah 9:12. The Syrians before, and the Philistines behind, and they shall devour Israel with open mouth. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Isaiah 9:17. Therefore the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall have mercy on the fatherless and widows, for every one is a hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Isaiah 9:21. Manasseh, Ephraim, and Ephraim, Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Isaiah 10:4. Without me they shall bow down under the prisoners, and they shall fall under the slain. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Isaiah 10:5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. Isaiah 10:25. For yet a very little while, and the indignation shall cease, and mine anger in their destruction. Isaiah 12:1. And in that day thou shalt say, O Lord, I will praise thee, though thou wast angry with me. Thine anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me. Isaiah 13:3. I have commended my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. Isaiah 13:9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Isaiah 13:13. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, in the wrath of the Lord, the hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. Isaiah 14:6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. Isaiah 30:27. Behold, the name of the Lord cometh from far, burning with his anger, and the burden thereof is heavy. His lips are full of indignation, and his tongue as a devouring fire. Isaiah 30:30. And the Lord shall cause his glorious voice to be heard, and shall shew the lighting down of his arm with the indignation of his anger, and with the flame of a devouring fire, with scattering and tempest and hailstones. Isaiah 42:25. Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger, and the strength of battle, and it hath set him on fire round about, yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid not to heart. Isaiah 48:9. For my name's sake will I defer mine anger, and for my praise will I refrain for thee, that I cut thee not off. Isaiah 63:3. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. Isaiah 63:6. And I will tread down the peoples in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. Isaiah 65:3. A people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face, that sacrificeth in gardens, and burneth incense upon altars of brick. Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. Jeremiah 2:35. Yet thou sayest, because I am innocent, surely his anger shall turn from me. Behold, I will plead with thee, because thou sayest, I have not sinned. Jeremiah 3:5. Will he reserve his anger forever? Will he keep it to the end? Behold, thou hast spoken and done evil things as thou couldest. Jeremiah 3:12. Go and proclaim these words toward the north, and say, Return, thou backsliding Israel, saith the Lord, and I will not cause mine anger to fall upon you. For I am merciful, saith the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever. Jeremiah 4:8. For this gird you with sackcloth, lament and howl, for the fierce anger of the Lord is not turned back from us. Jeremiah 4:26. I beheld, and lo, the fruitful place was a wilderness, and all the cities therefore were broken down at the presence of the Lord and by his fierce anger. Jeremiah 7:18. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger.